And, coming up at 4:30 this afternoon, the Bishop's Corner will be on the air, as always, dutifully on Thursdays, Fridays, and even Saturdays. And Bishop Thomas likes to pick one particular question. We've asked him, which question do you think would be a good one to feature in our morning offering program to let people kind of get a taste of what's going to happen at 4:30. And here's today's.
Mary Ann at St. Peter's. Dear Bishop Thomas, what is the best response when someone says they are spiritual but not religious? How am I supposed to interpret that statement? Thanks, Mary Ann.
Mary Ann, this is a question that's being asked far and wide, and certainly on university and college campuses, because we hear more and more, don't we, that people will say, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm just not religious. So go to the sources. Look just first at the meaning of those words. So, for example, spiritual is pertaining to the human spirit, or imagine this now, relating to religion or religious beliefs. Even in the title, in the actual meaning of spiritual in English, is this reality. So, Mary Ann, the other one is religion, a system of beliefs, of faith and worship, or another definition, the belief in and worship of a god or gods. And I think I would suggest, Mary Ann, the answer is simply this. Go to Matthew 16:18, when Jesus says to Peter, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. Jesus intended for there be a community of persons who would gather together, and that community would gather regularly for worship. So it's the reason why I don't make those distinctions of spiritual or religious. I'm Catholic. The reason I'm Catholic is because this is what Jesus invited us to in order to get to heaven. So lots and lots of answers, and I'm sure you can have long discussions about it. But I would give this example, Mary Ann. For the people who say, well, I'm spiritual but not religious, then I would ask this. By analogy, you say you're a member of your family, but you refuse to go to any of the gatherings of your family. You don't go to Thanksgiving. You don't go to Christmas. You don't sit at the meal in the evening with your family. Pretty soon people would say, well, you're not a member of that family. And you might say, oh, I'm a member of the family, but you don't do anything with them. That's kind of like saying I'm spiritual but not religious. You can't be spiritual on your own, because even Father Mike Schmidt says being spiritual then is all about you. And of course, being religious is all about God. And since we're created beings, it's not about us.
Do you think there's some people that when they say I'm spiritual, not religious, they're not even referring to, I believe in God, I'm spiritual, but I don't go to church, but they're referring to, oh, I believe in the astrology, or I believe in
that's a good
somehow.
No, that's a good point, Ron. And Mary Ann should know that there are people who talk about I'm spiritual, which could also relate to spiritualism. So it could relate, for example, even frankly, to demonic worship, and it could relate to astrology. It could relate to the spirits of, for example, the spirits, quote, in my body.
Yeah.
It could relate to all of these things, and much of which, for example, is New Age. So I think those are things which also sort of smack of the I'm spiritual, not religious theme.
Yep.
Wow, what a fascinating conversation. And that question and 4 others you will hear later this afternoon on the Bishop's Corner right after Say Yes to Life. That'll be at 4:30 this afternoon.